Welcome parents and carers. My name is Natasha Doherty and I'm here today to give you some insight into the health of youth and how we as a partnership can address areas of concern. Firstly, what is health? The World Health Organization defines health as a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Maslow's hierarchy of needs explains this state of well-being in depth in relation to a child. Maslow believed that a child could not reach a state of well-being until they had each of their needs met. Maslow's hierarchy addresses the following needs. Firstly, physiological needs, also known as survival needs. Safety needs, an individual having no fear of being harmed. The need for belongingness and love, being a part of a group or community and having caring relationships. Esteem needs, wanting to achieve, to be happy with themselves and feel valued by others. Lastly, the state of self-actualization. This is when an individual wants to strive and achieve for more than what is expected by peers and others. This is where the individual can set goals for the future. The Australian Institute for Health and Welfare has outlined 9 national health priority areas, which are areas seen to cause the highest rates of illness and injury in the Australian community. It is not only an individual's responsibility to address these areas, but it is the role of all of us. We need to work in a partnership that involves schools, parents, and the wider community, and peers. We need to think big, start small. Let us start by focusing on 3 of the 9 national health areas that are most significant to youth. These areas are mental health, obesity, and asthma. Although we all seem to assume that mental health issues only occur in the lives of adults and teenagers 15 to 19 years old, mental illness is quite prevalent in young children ages 4 to 17 years. A health and wellbeing survey in 1998 found that 14% of young people aged 4 to 17 years old have a mental health problem. In the 2004-05 survey of children under the age of 15, 7% were diagnosed with a form of mental or behavioural problem as a long-term health condition. However, from children to adults, the rates of mental illness rise. 76% of people who have had or have a mental illness first show signs of a mental illness before the age of 25. In youth, women are more likely to have a mental illness compared to men. Factors that increase the likelihood of a young person developing a mental illness include gender, family and home environment, trauma, abuse, genetics, sexual orientation confusion, peer pressure and friendships, substance abuse, geographic location, and socioeconomic status. Although there is an increased awareness in mental illness such as depression and an increase in services designed to help youth such as Headspace and Beyond Blue, there is still a high death rate linked to mental illness. Youth suicide contributes to the deaths of 17 people per 100,000 people per year. In 1975, the suicide rate was 9.8% of people 15 to 24 years old, and in just 15 years it rose to 15.9%. That is a raise of 6.1%. Australia's obesity rates for boys has doubled from 5% in 1995 to 10% in 2007-08 in the age group of 15 to 17 years. Of boys ages 5 to 12, 8% were obese, and of boys ages 13 to 17 years, 13% were obese. As for females, there was an increase in the 13 to 17 years age group, from only 12% in 1995 to 20% in 2007-08. In 2007-08, 25% of Australian children were obese. Research shows that these children generally tend to stay obese throughout adulthood, increasing their chances of diseases related to obesity. The main other factors causing and influencing the risk of obesity are individual factors such as genetics, gender, and attitudes towards health, sociocultural factors such as your family environment, peer pressure, media pressure, culture, and education. And without being correctly educated about what a healthy lifestyle is, how can we expect people to make a positive health decision? Health services around certain geographic areas can be a huge factor, As with genetically caused obesity, without the correct medical guidance, individuals can feel lost and alone, therefore unsure of what steps to take to better their health. In 1995, 12% of children under the age of 15 were diagnosed with long-term asthma, which were similar results to those found in 2001. There is not a huge difference between males and females with asthma, however in children, boys' rates of asthma exceed girls by 3%. As adults, females are more likely to have asthma than males. The mortality rate for asthma is quite low, and asthma continues to account to a decreasing amount of deaths, although asthma can cause great restraint on an individual's life, such as their physical health and work abilities. Causes for asthma may include genetic or hereditary, obesity, smoking while pregnant, smoking around children of any age, and also as a child, if you're a male, your lungs are smaller, which increases the chances of having asthma. Factors such as genetics, gender, geographic location, and health services available may affect that management of asthma. However, the Asthma Foundation still recommends that every child and adult has an asthma action plan. Physical activity can have many health benefits. It can influence the physical, emotional, and social well-being of an individual. The World Health Organization states that over 80% of the world's youth do not participate in enough physical activity. An individual ages 5 to 17 years should do 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity a day. This then increases to 150 minutes of moderate intensity or 75 minutes at a vigorous intensity throughout the week for individuals 18 to 64 years old. Encouraging a child to be out playing sport or playing with a dog can make a huge improvement to the child's overall health. Physical activity can improve the strength, function, and overall health of muscles and bones. This can reduce the likelihood of body damage such as hyperextension, and can also reduce the risk of health issues later in life such as coronary heart disease, strokes, diabetes, breast and colon cancer. Depression and other mental illnesses can be positively affected by physical activity. Physical activity and exercise releases endorphins that naturally make an individual feel happy, improving the emotional health of an individual. Physical activity gives an individual the space to set goals and strive for achievement. This can give a child's day purpose. When a child is dealing with a mental illness such as depression, they can often feel alone and unvalued. Through physical activities such as team sports, each individual can feel a part of something and like they are contributing to a greater cause. They can also gain a sense of support from the other players as they encourage each other to strive to improve. This sense of belonging and value can be crucial in helping an individual with mental illness. Through sports, individuals can form friendships and support groups that allow the individual to feel a sense of belonging. When a child is involved in a social setting and they have a mental illness, they tend to withdraw. This is where the leader of the physical activity or other players can step in and give each person a role to ensure that each person feels like a valued team member. Not only are we offering our children a subject that promotes health, PDHPE, but we are also setting up our school around the concept of promoting healthy lifestyles. We do this through implementing a health-promoting school program. The aim of the program is to educate, to form partnerships between parents, teachers, communities and students, to put in place programs and strategies that help individuals not only now, but for the rest of their lives, help students set goals, promote self-care, influence the beliefs, knowledge, attitudes and values individuals have about health and well-being, to ensure that misconceptions and bad habits are removed, leading to better health outcomes, and also to promote and demonstrate healthy lifestyles. As mentioned before, youth between the ages of 5 to 17 need at least 60 minutes of physical activity a day. Therefore, as primary school teachers, we need to be creative with our time management and curriculum to try and fit as much physical activity into a day as possible. This is also an aim of the Health Promoting School program. The trick is not to only include physical activity in PDHPE classes, but to extend physical activity across key learning areas, to use physical activity when teaching maths or science. Teachers can also encourage the use of well-designed activities at recess and lunchtime, ensuring that children are gaining the physical activity they need each day. Teachers should also teach children about the benefits of physical activity and explain that it is more than just being fit. Teachers should also be involved and demonstrate a love for physical activity and healthy lifestyle choices as this is something children will mimic. What can you do as a parent at home? We need your help too. We need you to be continuing the healthy modelling at home so that there is no mixed messages. We need to work together to provide the children with the best chance at a healthy lifestyle.